Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is Democrats calling for an internal revolution. I would say I have been waiting for this broadcast since, I guess, about January of 1987. In other words, Dimitri Duduman's prophecy that he was given is, wow, it's like really in progress. It's really about to happen. Now, before I get into that, a little bit of good news. So, YouTube deleted our channel about 3 years and 3 months ago, but they have now reinstated it. But we can't load the same program twice to YouTube. Now, we can have 2 channels, I understand. And so, here's what we're going to do. Starting November the 24th, we're going to be posting all our regular daily Prophecy Club programs, Monday through Friday, to the official, or the 68,000 subscriber, the larger YouTube site. And you find that at Prophecy Club Official on YouTube. Now, most of you have been listening to the new site with about 20,000 subscribers with Prophecy with Stan. And what we're going to start doing there is uploading Friday night Bible studies, Sunday morning services, missions updates, other kind of spiritual stuff of the Spirit of Prophecy Church. So this channel will be more geared towards personal ministry and spiritual. So if you want to get the daily programs, you go to at Prophecy Club Official, at Prophecy Club Official on YouTube. If you want to get the Bible studies, Friday night, Sunday morning services, then you go to at Prophecy with Stan. 2 different websites, okay? So this is the old one, 20,000 subscribers. It's going to be mostly spiritual Bible studies, Sunday services, stuff like that. If you want the Prophecy Club, then you go to at Prophecy Club Official on YouTube. Now, of course, there's other places. Some of you don't watch it on YouTube. I understand. All right. These are the links where you can find us, and I'll also invite you to visit the Spirit of Prophecy Church, 2540 K Avenue in Plano, and also in addition to using the promo code PROPHECY at empshield.com, from now through Thanksgiving, you can get an additional 25% off on your orders there through Thanksgiving. So go check it out. Also, if you are looking to get gold and silver, then we'll send you to Prophecy Club. Gold.com, 800-200-GOLD. If you're looking at getting crypto, we're going to send you to prophecyclubcrypto.com. And now, let me I don't like saying this. Okay, so the way I would prefer this thing happened is I work and I do what I'm supposed to do, and then the money comes in for us to pay the bills. And it used to work like that when Trump wasn't in, but since Trump is fixing everything, a lot of people think, I don't need that prophecy stuff anymore. Throw that Prophecy Club away. So our donations have fallen, and then some of our other sponsors have also dropped off, and so I'm afraid to calculate, but I'm going to say probably half as much comes in. So that means I have to ask you to help us. As you know, I didn't used to do that, but then since Trump came in, we don't need a Prophecy Club anymore. But I do need you to help us to continue. Now, I bring this up because we're now starting to get a lot of requests for this book. I haven't really promoted it much, but I think it is the secret to the timing of the rapture. If you want to find peace in your heart concerning the rapture, if you want to know when it is, and it's not going to be a surprise, this is your book. Now, here's the problem. First, tell you about the book. The correct order of all end-time events must agree with the feasts. And I received a revelation that the Feast of Pentecost is the marriage feast, and as the first marriage took place on Pentecost at Mount Sinai, the second marriage took place in the upper room with the Holy Spirit. The final marriage with the church, or the bride really, takes place about 4 months before Armageddon. Now, that's the secret that's in the book. But for you to understand that, you got to get the book. Now, here's the problem. I have checked, and printing of this book is going to cost $12,000. Now, the other books, I didn't have to ask you for help. We had the money. We said it. We printed the books. But right now, I don't have $12,000. I don't. I don't even have close to that. And I want to print the book. We're going to have the book probably ready to print possibly this week, early part of next week. And I can send it off and they'll print it, but they aren't going to ship it until I pay for it. So if God has blessed you and you can help us with that $12,000 offering so we can print this book, here's what I will do. If you can help us with this printing this book, I will send you a personally signed autographed copy directly from me, and also I will send you a selfie of me holding up the book with your signature saying thank you because you helped print this book. So if you want to be part of that, then help at least with part of it, $500, at least $1,000, something like that. And maybe someone can send the whole 12,000. But anyway, so there you go. Okay, let's get into today's important topic. So the Senate Dems are now calling for an internal revolution. Now, they're not saying it that way, but that's exactly what they're calling for. Now, I know I've said this many times, but you're looking at what is going to save thousands upon thousands of people. That message. The most important message in the Bible, of course, is the blood of Jesus. But right now for America, this is the second most important message, and frankly, it's sad to see that most of Americans will not hear that. But they're about to start hearing that. What is it saying? Because I'm going to show you that almost out of their mouths today. The fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. Some of the people will then start fighting against the government. The government will be busy fighting and resisting. Then Russia and all of her buddies attack. Now, let me show you what just happened. I looked up, this is all preparing you for the big kahuna I'm bringing to you today. I looked up the question, can a military order be refused by the military? And this is what it said. Yes, a military order can be refused if it is illegal, as military members have a duty to disobey unlawful orders that violate the Constitution or U.S. law, two things. However, refusing a lawful order is a very serious offense that can result in severe penalties, including court-martial, dishonorable discharge, forfeiture of pay, and even imprisonment for up to 2 years, is basically what it says. If you want to pause and read it, you can. Now, I'm going to read these words because these are the words that your Democrat senators have just put out, and it's going viral. And I think we need to slow down and take a look at these words because I think the people that are saying this are calling for an insurrection. I don't know if that's against the law, but if it's not, it ought to be. There ought to be some kind of consequences at the very least. This message should be deleted and should not be going out. This is calling for, my opinion, a revolution. Okay, let's look at it carefully. These are the words, and I'm going to play you these people saying these words here in just a minute, okay? I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin, a Democrat. With me are Senator Mark Kelly, Representative Chris DeLuzio, Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander, Representative Christy Houlihan, and Congressman Jason Crow. He says, I was a captain in the United States Navy. Then they start saying this. We are former CIA officers, former Navy, former paratroopers and Army Rangers, former intelligence officers, and former Air Force, meaning we were in the military and we know what we're saying is correct. That's what they're really saying. I want to speak directly to the members of the military and to the intelligence community, and what he's saying is, and I'm going around the President Trump administration. I'm going around anything that could stop me. Military and the intelligence community who take risks every day to keep Americans safe. We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now. What they're trying to say is we know you are disagreeing with Donald Trump. That's what they're saying. Americans trust their military, but, okay, anytime you see a but, it means I'm going to say the opposite. So it's saying if you distrust President Trump. Americans trust their military, but that trust is at risk. This administration is pitting our uniformed military and intelligence community professionals against American citizens like us. Yes, the ones that want to destroy America. He's trying to save America, in my opinion. I mean, I think this is our last chance as a nation to repent and turn back to Jesus, and we ain't doing it, at least not so far. And of course, prophecy says we won't. Jeremiah 51, verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let every man return into his own country. You all swore an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. And right now the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home. I think that is a lie. I don't think Donald Trump is threatening the Constitution, but this is part of calling for an internal revolution. They are calling for the military to stand up against President Trump. That's essentially what they're saying. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders. They say it twice. You can refuse illegal orders. You must refuse illegal orders. And as I read, they must. But they're insinuating that Donald Trump is giving or will give the military illegal orders. To my knowledge, he has not given illegal orders. I don't think he will give illegal orders. He is giving orders that are against the Democrat communists. That's what he's doing. He's trying to clean a nation that doesn't want to be clean. He's asking people to stop doing the wrong things, and they don't want to. Let's go on. No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution. Well, theoretically, what they're saying is correct, but that's not what they're saying. They're saying, and if you don't like President Trump, go ahead and disobey an order. If you don't like what President Trump is telling you to do, or your military supervisor, you have us backing you up, disobey that order. Now, they didn't say that. Very slick, but that's what they're inferring. Let's go on. We know this is hard. In other words, we know you disagree with President Trump. We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant. But whether you're serving in the CIA, the Army, or our Navy, or the Air Force, your vigilance is critical. In other words, we hope you begin to disagree with Trump. Know that we have your back. In other words, if you disagree with Trump, we're going to come to your rescue. Now, they might not be able to, but they're calling for an insurrection. They're calling for the military to rise up and overthrow the Trump administration. They're not saying that, but indirectly they're saying that. They're implying that, in my opinion. Because now more than ever, the American people need you. We need you to stand up for our laws, our Constitution, and who we are as Americans. Well, Trump is doing that, in my opinion, but he is not doing that in their opinion. Then they say, don't give up 3 times. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up the ship. In other words, if you don't come against Trump and the military, if you don't start an internal revolution, our nation is doomed. Our nation is going to fall apart. That's what they're insinuating, though, let me make it clear, they didn't say that. But in my opinion, this needs to be deleted from all communications in America. And these people need to somehow be called on the carpet. I don't know how that all works, but what they're doing here is not right. Then she concludes saying, I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin. Now I'm going to play you the original footage of these people actually saying it.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris Deluzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow.
I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military,
And intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
like us, You all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army,
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution,
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Here's my opinion. They're saying, I was in the military. Now, I'm not saying that. This is my opinion, what they're saying. I was in the military, so you should listen to me. Follow what I'm saying. And they're giving a hint. Disobey orders, revolt, go against President Trump. Indirectly, they're saying, start or join an internal revolution. I think this should scare every American. See, all of the pastors that had Dimitri Duduman in their church that have not got this message out, shame on you. All of the people that have heard Dimitri's warning since he got here in 1984 and have not passed it along or helped it get passed along, shame on you. There's going to come a time when you wake up and bombs are falling all over and you did not do your part. Now, speaking of that, I would like everyone to pray that somehow, some way, God gets Dimitri's warning to Donald Trump in such a way to where Donald Trump knows it's of God, it's accurate, and it's not a joke, and he better do something about stopping it. Now, he may already know it. I don't think so. I've never seen anything that made me believe that. But if Donald Trump doesn't know it, there's no chance of stopping it, right? United we stand, divided we fall. Okay, I've heard that since I was a kid. You remember this? This is from Dana Coverstone. This is only part of one of his dreams. I think it's important. I saw the man that I'd seen, that would be the angel, in previous dreams standing in the place where the president gives the State of the Union address. He tapped the microphone 3 times and stated in a loud voice, "A house divided against itself shall not stand." Meaning, if there's enough people that vote for Mandami, bring another that communist, another communist in position, and if there's enough people that rise up, and if there is an internal revolution, God will see to it this nation does not stand. And the emphasis was on the word shall. He then pushed the microphone down and walked to the door at the rear of the room. On the wall were several light switches, and he flipped them all off, walked out the door, pulled the door shut, and I awoke. Meaning, if we don't pray, my brothers and sisters, this is existential. Hard for me to say. This is the end of our nation. If we don't stop this, so we better start praying. Further evidence. DHS, that's the Department of Human Services, civil emergency, order issued after anti-ICE riots, bomb and death threats. A civil emergency order has been issued in Broadville, Illinois, that's up by Chicago, after an anti-ICE rioting, bomb threats, and a death threat against the mayor triggered a mayor law enforcement response. DHS officials said the declaration underscores how extreme the threats have become after weeks of escalating violence around the local ICE processing facility. DHS directly, and by the way, I also, directly blame this unrest on misinformation pushed by the sanctuary area politicians and activist groups, in other words, started by the communists. Just like God spoke to Dimitri August 3rd, 1984, but I can't seem to get people to listen. Now here we are. Have Americans listened to this? No. I've been carrying this message since January, or maybe in February, of 1987, and here I am, 72 years old, and having to beg for money. Shame on the people that have heard this message and have not supported it. I got out of radio, I got off of TV because I couldn't pay for it. Why? Because people didn't like the message I was bringing. You see what I bring. They don't like it. They don't like that message. So they don't support it. So, yeah, I need your support. Matter of fact, what I really need is not just support now we're in an emergency. I need it every month. It ought to be, I never have to ask for money. So many ministries never have to do that. Enough said. Let me go on. New York Times. Trump clears CIA covert ops in Venezuela. You remember then Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and 2 of the countries I can't remember will attack. We think, and Michael Boldet, his grandson and interpreter, also agrees with me, one of the nations he could not remember is Venezuela. The other one is North Korea, and there might be another one. Isaiah 13 tells me it's going to be Iraq. Anyway, the point is, we see us about to go to war with Venezuela. The paper reported that while the president has not authorized U.S. combat troops, no boots on the ground, the CIA has been instructed to develop options for the president that could include sabotage, cyber operations, psychological campaigns, or other covert tools. The CIA has overthrown, I don't know, I pulled up in Grok one day, and it is probably 6 weeks ago, and asked how many nations have been overthrown by the American government. I was thinking it was 3 or 4. It was like over 50 of them. They go in there, and if it's done for good, then I'm not going to complain much. Okay, I'm going to say something that I can't prove, but I have heard it through rumors, and I suspect it to be true. I want to believe that the CIA has new leadership under Trump. I want to believe that the CIA is now the good guys. I want to believe the FBI, and I want to believe the rest of the people out there that are bad operators, deep state, ball worshipers and servers have been replaced by the good guys. That's what I want to believe. But I don't know. It is my opinion that in the past, the CIA was a bad organization whose primary job was the tracking, monitoring, and growing and distribution of illegal drugs, whose primary focus was deep black projects off books that they do, underground, I'll just say that, underground. You hear rumors, and sometimes we can't prove it. And that's one of them. Sometimes we can't prove it. Okay, let me point out a couple of things. I just read this the other day, but essentially this 11-year-old child had a dream that he saw that the dollar bill crashed. It was not any good anymore, and they switched from coins and paper to something like a cell phone. It was a checkbook. It was digital. You can pause and read the thing if you want to. Couldn't play games or make a phone call on it. It was only for buying and selling. Now, we thought at the time it might look something like the Pi phone, but oh no, I've got further information right now. Only very famous people had a lot of this new digital currency. I'm going to skip this. You can pause and read it if you want to. Same here, pause and read if you want to. But this guy here I read this a day or so ago. He says, basically, it's our form of open-air prison. In other words, he's protesting. What happens is that you end up being digitized into one massive database, not just currency, all assets on the planet, all gold, all silver, all people, all buildings, everything that we own is digitized so that it's based upon a digital currency that can be transmitted up through the Starlink satellites to the quantum computers and down through this device. Let me skip on over. I want to show you the device. I read this a couple of days ago. You can pause and read it if you want to. But I was shocked. Thank you for sending it. By the way, thank you for your emails. So I put it like this. Oh my, not goodness. We've heard oh my goodness. Okay, this is not oh my goodness. This is oh my not goodness. It has arrived. Look at this. Here it is. You can get on a Black Friday sale, $69 on a Titan 2. What is it? It's called EliPal Titan 2 Cold Wallet. It is a device that could be used for buying and selling. I think it's interesting that it's fulfilling the little 11-year-old's dream. There it is. Now, it's not the full device yet. I know that and you know that. But we can also say, oh, okay, it's getting real close. And my understanding way this device is supposed to work is they're going to tell you can't put a cover on it because it is always taking your fingerprints as you hold it. You can't turn off the microphone or the camera ever because it's always listening to your voice, always taking your picture. It is not for communications. It is not for making phone calls, sending texts, or any of that. This is only for buying and selling. It's a secure device based upon the biometrics that each of us have. And to get into there, you have to give them a sample of your blood, your DNA, an eye scan, a face scan, a fingerprint, everything about you. Your whole medical history, your driving record, your employment history, everything is all connected to this. And so that when you go to buy or sell, this is what you use it for. Now, just like, for example, I heard this the other night. The big beautiful bill said, as of January 1, all newborn children in America will be given $1,000 into a savings account that is then invested into the stock market. And we go, yay, that's a great idea. Or is it? You see, the Chinese and the WEF are planning on a new digital system. They will give everybody on the planet an account. They will put an amount of money in that account, probably a pretty large amount, probably not $1,000. It may be like $50,000, maybe $100,000 in the account, digital. But in order to access it, what they're doing is bribing you to give them your DNA. You have to touch your thumb. It stings you and takes just a quick sample of your blood. You get your DNA. You have to look into a lens, give them your eye. You have to look into a lens, give them, like already, Leslie and I, to go through customs when we were going to Honduras. We had to give them our face print. I walked up to the guy and I said, well, I don't want to give you my face print. He said, okay, well, then you have to step over there and we have to do all this other procedure. Leslie says, just give it to them. We're in a hurry. So I stood there. And they probably already have my face print anyway because they'd have it on our driver's license, okay? But my point is, this gizmo here is, if this is not it, it's something like what is about to hit us. And they say it's supposed to be going live in early part of 26. So here we are at the door, my brothers and sisters. We are at the door of seeing the Antichrist. We're at the door of seeing him set on the Ark of the Covenant. A lot of the prophecies that we've been watching for years is at the door. If you'll notice the name on this, it's called EliPal. It's not talking about it's your friend, it's your pal. I think that relates to PAL, what Elon Musk is a company he started called PayPal. It's not your PayPal, it's your EliPal. And the Eli stands for Extension Life Event. So it's basically saying if you want to buy or sell, you got to have EliPal. If this is not the device, it'll be something very similar to it, and it's coming to a purse and a pocket near you. Thanks for your help. If you want to be on the end of making money, gold and silver is preserving your money. If If you want to be on the end of making money, then you might want to call prophecyclubcrypto.com, or actually go to it, or call that number at the bottom right corner. Ask them about crypto if you're in the position where you can make money.